There are several different ways to solve this question. One way is just through sheer estimation. 96 is very close to 100, so let's estimate. Let's say this is 3 and 45 out of 100. That would be 3.45. So our answer should be somewhere near 3.45, and the only possible answer choice that gets close to that number is answer choice B, 3.46875. So at that point, you can mark B and move on with the rest of the test. But let's say you don't do estimation. What other ways could we solve this question? You could also notice that 45 is really close to being half of 96. So if we split this fraction up into 3 plus 45 over 96, and then we sort of redistribute the numbers here to say 48 minus 3, because that's equivalent to 45. So we could create an equivalent fraction. 48 over 96 minus 3 over 96. And this would simplify down to be 1/2, because 48 is exactly half of 98. We would divide the top and bottom by 48 and get 1/2. So then we have some easier numbers to work with. We have 3 plus 1/2, which would be 3.5, minus 3 over 96. And now we can simplify this one by factoring out the greatest common factor of 3. 3 divided by 3 would give us 1, and 96 divided by 3, I can actually kind of do that in my head. 3 would go into 9 3 times evenly, and then 3 would go into 6 2 times evenly. So now we're looking at 3.5 minus 1 over 32. From here, we can simplify this down by dividing our numerator by its denominator. 32 into 1. 32 cannot go into 1, so we have to add a decimal and add a 0, but still 32 cannot go into 10, so add another 0, add another 0. Now, how close can we get to 100 using multiples of 32? Well, if I multiplied us by 3, we would have 3 times 2, which is 6, and 3 times 3, which is 9. 96 is as close as we can get to 100 without going over. So let's do that. And let me get rid of that 3. There we go. 96, when we subtract 100 minus 96 is 4. We bring down another 0, and 32 can go into 40 one time. When we subtract, that will give us 8. We bring down another 0, and the closest we can get to 80, I know that 3 times 32 gave us 96, which goes over 80. So I'm going to make an estimation that it is 2. 2 times 32. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6. Yep, 64 is under 80. So we'll subtract there, and I will borrow. 10 minus 4 is 6. 7 minus 6 is 1. We bring down another 0. And now here's an interesting relationship. I know that 16 is half of 32. So if I'm looking at 160 and 32, that means that likely 5 times 32 will give me 160. 5 times 2 is 10, carry the 1. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 1 is 16. So 5 is the last digit of that decimal because there is no remainder when we subtract here, meaning that we have 3.5. I'll actually grab a new color for this. 3.5 minus 0.03125. We'll have to add a bunch of zeros to even us out. Let me erase this 3 so we have some more room. Okay, and now we can subtract. We'll have to do a lot of borrowing. So let's start here. 4 to 10, 9 to 10, 9 to 10, and 9 to 10. So now we have 10 minus 5 is 5. 5 minus 2 is 7. 9 minus 2 is 7. 9 minus 1 is 8. 9 minus 3 is 6. 4 minus 0 is 4. 3 minus 0 is 3, giving us the final answer of 3.46875, making answer choice B our correct answer.